Welcome to DC News Now, the news at noon. I'm Shanika Grimshaw.
I'm Randy Bass.
And I'm meteorologist David Matson.
Well, it's Monday, guys, and it's a cold one at that. How was it when you stepped outside? I'm pretty sure Damon was fine.
It was cold. I went from garage to garage today, thank goodness. And I mostly stayed out of the cold, but I looked at the forecast as soon as I woke up this morning, and I was like, oh gosh, we're barely getting out of freezing range today. So I packed my big heavy coat and my heavy scarf and just had to be prepared for it all.
I know, right? It was for me, because, I leave the house. What am I trying to say? I leave the house early in the morning, right?
Right.
And it is so cold. I mean, it's dark, it's cold, but all I do is just bundle up. I had to sit in my car for about, I'd say 5 minutes to warm it up. It had so much frost on it, and I was actually surprised.
And I think we'd be remiss to say, by the way, this right here, the OG morning team from about 6 years ago, back together. So we all know how it feels, getting out bright and early when it's that cold.
Yeah.
And not to get too much into my weekend, but I was out trying to decorate, get the house ready, all Christmased up, and even I got cold, Shanika.
Oh,
Even
wow.
I got cold.
If Damon gets cold, it's cold.
That's how. Damon doesn't get cold very easily,
right?
Damon, why don't you wear the boots anymore? Remember you used to wear the boots
Oh.
when we
Snow boots.
used to work together up in Hagerstown. You would do the weather in your snow boots all the time.
Times have changed in that regard. I still have them, but they are very dirty from being in the yard and such. So I don't think I can wear those to more official places.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Others are going to want their boots maybe today and to bundle up.
I know. And on top of that, we are on the very edge of the latest system that's bringing some snow, not to the DMV, but very close by, folks. Last week, when we had that snow event at the very end of the week, I mentioned how there was a clear divide. We did get that snow up into the district. Some of our northern counties, though, just over the edge to where you didn't really see that much in terms of wintry weather, if any at all. Well, this system right here, it's staying just out of the entire DMV. There it is, drifting its way south and east down across central southern Virginia, where they are picking up some pretty steady and decent amounts of snowfall before the day is done, down toward Richmond, and even some of that leaking down into North Carolina. But the cutoff line, where some drier air is really keeping that snow away from us, it's right on the edge of the DMV here as you head down toward Orange, Spotsylvania counties into the Fredericksburg area. Yes, you will find some flakes, but outside of that, you go just a little bit farther north. Stafford up to Woodbridge. Nothing. Maybe a few flurries at that, and that means DC, no snowfall, which in a way is sort of a good thing. We don't have that headache to deal with here on this Monday, and the winter weather advisories the National Weather Service put out reflects that. Look at that. The purple stops right at the very edge of our map there, so no advisories outside of the ridge tops there along the Blue Ridge in the DMV. That's it. We are in the clear in this case. So yes, we will see some flurries. It is going to stay cloudy, but no significant snow is expected. However, we're going to feel the cold that's fueling some of that snow to our south. Temperatures the rest of the day will continue to drop. And Randy and Shanika, we got a cold night ahead of us. We'll talk about how frigid it's going to be by tomorrow morning in that full forecast here in just a bit.
Good night for a fire in the fireplace, for sure.
Yes.
Something to keep warm. You're going to need it.
Absolutely. And Shanika, we are following some big breaking news this afternoon, too.
Oh, yes. A major shakeup in D.C. New this morning. D.C. Police Chief Pamela Smith announcing she's stepping down. Along with Mayor Muriel Bowser, they released a statement on social media. Randy, tell us about it.
Yeah, Smith says she is grateful for her time serving in the district. She also expresses her confidence in DC police moving forward, says they are in a strong position and they will continue to fight crime and increase public safety. Smith, though, she is the first Black woman to permanently lead the DC Police Department.
Yeah, in a statement, she did mention she's deeply humbled and grateful of the time spent in D.C. She even thanked the mayor. She says the role has been challenging and rewarding. And I know, Randy, you've been covering this a lot. Crime numbers were down,
yes,
but they continued to drop, which is good. She said she's proud of that. And she joined in November of, or she was sworn in November of 2023.
Yeah, I remember when she took over, that was a really tough time in DC. We all remember the summer of 2023. That was a really violent time for the district. So she joined the department, came in to lead the department at a really pivotal time for DC, and was looking at some of the crime numbers earlier this morning. Homicides are down 30% over the same time last year. The city's seen 124 homicides so far this year compared to 178 at this point last year. So that really is a significant drop. They are making strides in that regard, and violent crime overall down about 28%. So DC is trending in the right direction when it comes to crime. And of course, we know DC and the crime here in the city has really been a big focus of the Trump administration. We've seen a really, just microscope on the city recently. We heard from the DC Police Union about her stepping down today, saying that they are actually questioning the timing of this announcement, which comes amid active investigations by the House Oversight Committee and the Department of Justice into allegations of manipulation of those crime statistics and potential mismanagement within the MPD. And I know, Shanika, you and we were talking about this earlier today, whether this may or may not be part of why we're seeing this come at this particular time. But we also saw the mayor just before Thanksgiving. She announced she would not be running for re-election. So this is not the only shakeup we're seeing in the D.C. Political and D.C. government landscape. It's one of many changes. We're seeing council members run for Congress. We're seeing council members step down. We're seeing council members try to run for mayor. So over the next year, D.C. and D.C. government thinks that the Wilson Building are going to look very, very different.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see. I know everyone is kind of sitting back and just watching and waiting to see what's next here.
Absolutely. And the DC Police Union, we're also hearing from them again today, saying that they are hoping that the next chief can work to reestablish full capacity for MPD. We've seen a lot of staffing and hiring challenges. Those were challenges that existed and persisted before Chief Smith even took on this role as DC Police Chief. So definitely something they're going to be looking for, somebody who can help hire and really retain officers too. DC has been losing officers, hundreds of them over the last few years. So this is a really pivotal time in DC history. Some things that they're going to be looking for in a new chief: someone who can maintain a working relationship with federal law enforcement and President Trump, somebody who can handle the national spotlight. DC, of course, coming back from some of these historic levels of violence we saw several years ago, and somebody who can keep things trending in the right direction and drive violent crime and homicides down in the city.
Yeah, absolutely. Randy, thank you for that. And let's just give you an update on the National Guard member recovering in the hospital. And if you recall, just a few weeks ago, the shooting of two National Guard members, one did die, and one is recovering at the hospital. So Sergeant Andrew Wolf, he is making significant progress. That's what they're saying, according to a video post on Facebook by the Virginia National Guard. And his mom was in the video. Wolf's mom says that Wolf is more alert, he's more active. Thankfully, she also says sedation has come off and they are scaling back on his pain medications, which is very good news. Lots of prayers, lots of people concerned about Wolf, and Wolf's mom and the West Virginia National Guard says they're just thanking everyone for their prayers. And Randy, you also extensively covered this since it broke. You were on the ground as soon as it broke. Yeah, I mean, it's just no one thought that they would get this news. So this at least is good.
This is great. I mean, it's really incredible. We know that Staff Sergeant Wolf was shot in the head during this encounter, as was Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, who passed away from her injuries. I mean, this is, and we heard from Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, last week, who said that she visited him in the hospital where his doctors were calling him a miracle in terms of his recovery. And we heard that he was responding, giving thumbs ups, wiggling his toes, things like that. So it really is incredible to see that he is making such incredible strides in the hospital. Wednesday, 2 days from now, will mark 2 weeks since the shooting downtown at 17th and I Streets. We haven't received any updates really recently on Ramanullah Lakhanwala, the suspect in this shooting. Last we heard was last week in court. He had an arraignment where they actually did it from the hospital, where they zoomed him in via WebEx into the courtroom to do that arraignment after 5 days after he had been shot. So it really is just, and at one point they had described Staff Sergeant Wolf's injuries as touch and go. We really didn't know where things were going to go, and even the president had said at multiple points that we really didn't know what was going to happen to Mr. Wolf. So it really is good and encouraging to hear that he is doing so well in the hospital tonight.
Very miraculous, especially because chances of survival when being shot in the head, very, very low. And Randy, I know we had the Kennedy Center Honors over the weekend. Tell us about that.
Always a really exciting time in DC. It's always really busy. It's, something people look forward to really every year. President Trump hosted the Kennedy Center Honors last night. Trump is actually the first president to host the ceremony. Some of the honorees were Sylvester Stallone, the rock band Kiss, singer Gloria Gaynor, and country singer George Strait. And honoree Peter Criss said he was really grateful to be honored there. And so just a lot of really exciting stuff happening at the Kennedy Center. It's been a big weekend for them. On Friday, we saw the FIFA World Cup draw happen at the Kennedy Center, and so that drew a lot of eyes to DC also. So just a really busy and exciting time at the Kennedy Center. There's been no shortage of events and big happenings there. So just really, really incredible to see that happen, and to get to be in the front seat and watch all of this as it unfolds, and be in the front seat and get that first look at history.
Yeah, absolutely. There was so much going on over the weekend in the DMV, and they say Trump did get a little political as he hosted. He spoke on Biden. He made some jokes, and while he introduced some guests there, but some were on the red carpet. They were on at the Kennedy Honors, and they say it's really more about arts than the politics there. So they really wanted to focus on